तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ कपिलाय नमस्तस्मै येनाविद्यो दधौ जगदिमग्ने कारुण्यात् साङ्ख्यमयी नौरिव विहिता प्रतरणाय ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः महाराज की जय। Karika 40, 41 and 42, a discussion of Linga Sharira. Linga Sharira takes many births according to the karmas, nimitta naimittika prasankena. So here the Linga Sharira can be considered as reflected consciousness or Jivatma. So when the karmas are ready for a particular birth, it is formed in the form as vasanas or the manifesting karmas. Then accordingly the 5 elements are prepared with the support of 5 subtle elements. Then the birth happens. So this is what we learned from the previous Karikas. So the next Karika is again bringing many types of births, various karmas or working through karmas. We can see many types of births. So these bhavas are divided into many. The dharma, adharma, Aishwarya, Anaishwarya, all these 8 bhavas, the intellectual creation, what is called the bhavas. So bhavas are divided into many forms, and therefore the births are, the bodies are also many which with the many differences of all the bodies are, each body is different. So how it is being born, and here especially the physical body. So how is the physical body is formed from this bhava karmas, the virtue and all other kinds of karmas. So when we talk about karma, what is this karma is all about? Now, because we are going to talk about physical manifestation. Now we are calling karmas and all these theories. What is karma? How it is formed? So normally, the karma is translated as action. So what is karma? Is starting from action. Now, what is action? Action is different kinds of various movements, or we can say the action starts from vibration, spandana. So when this vibration starts in mental level or in pranical level, or physically we can say in cellular level, in the cells, the atoms, it starts. So from there it manifests according to the suggestion of brain, how it comes to the physical action outside with the object. Each cell is producing energy, and the energy, when it is accumulated, an amount of energy which is needed for a particular action, it is formed. And this amount of energy which is produced in the different parts of the cells, different limbs of the body and different parts of the cells. We can say different organ of the body. And then the brain gives the suggestion. Because to hold a cup of tea, you don't need so much energy compared to if you want to hold a 2 kilo of stone or 2 kilo of something else. So that energy of holding and the suggestion given to the muscles are different, because you already know that you are going to hold a cup of tea. It's not you are going to hold a 20 kilo of bag. So then accordingly the energy is circulated or energy is supplied to the muscles to hold that, and muscles work. So we perform one action, that holding a cup of tea or in any kind of performance. Now what I am trying to say, this is the physiology, what we learn, how it works. Each action has different suggestions from brain, and it takes over, and then the action is completed with that energy. It means the amount of energy supplied to the muscles, which are the muscles we use for the particular action, is already registered and or we can say suggested to the brain. So brain gives only that amount of energy, or brain try to use only that amount of energy, not extra or not less. If less means you cannot hold the cup. If extra means it's not necessary. So if you hold, if you have extra energy and more muscle power, the cup may break. So therefore, it should be the amount we needed. What it suggests from this action, the one action is performed, brain has some previous idea of what the action is going to be. Otherwise it cannot make the supply. So it is making the supply. It is making the supply, it means it has some previous idea. So what the action to be, going to be. It gives one understanding that before the action, the brain is active. It means the thought process itself is an action. So the completion of physical action is previously or completed in brain. It means brain has already completed the action, then the physical action is completed. How brain completes the action? By understanding this way, the amount of energy and the action, how is going to be, and the timing and all, everything together. This is what we learn. And what the brain completes, or what the brain understands as an action, is a thought process. It's a thought process. It's not anything physical. It's a thought process. it's a suggestion, it's a what you say, an information. Now, this suggestion in the brain, if that is the action, then what is the action taking place here? The outside, no, the physical action. Now although when we say physical action, brain and physics both are connected, but for the sake of our discussion, we can separate the physical action as outside action with the limbs and hands and legs, and the action in the brain, we call it mental action. Okay. So now we are very clear with this concept, idea, scientifically or practically, everything is like that. So now which action is real action, actual action, what we can call what is actually action. So which is the real action? Is it in brain or is it physical action? What you call physical action? Okay. So we call it physical action. Now it is not true. The mental action which the brain forms, that is the action. Physical action is a reaction of that. It's an after effect. So the moment we see, even according to our law of motion, of Newton's law of motion. So what he says, if there is a motion, there is some force behind. Without that, there cannot be a motion, that we know. So now, here you see, for the physical action, we have a force behind. Actually, it is not only force. It is the action which is pre-completed. The thought process is already there. Only accordingly, brain can form the energy and give the energy for the muscles and complete the action. Therefore, what I'm trying to say is the connection between the mind, the brain, and the physics. And the mental state, we call it a subtle action, and the physical rate state, we call it as a physical action, gross action. Now you understand something, some connection? Huh? So this is what the Sankhya says. You see, without mental action, there is no physical action. And now you cannot say how the physical action, mental action is converted into physical action. Why? Because this the body is not totally different from the actions of the brain, or without brain, body is incomplete. So even the brain, what we call as brain working, having all the thought process, is even gross in the according to the philosophy. But brain has all these functions, and this we separate with two different views. One is thought process and another is physical. And sometimes, why we separate it, there is a reason. The reason is, sometimes thought process is there, but action is not there. There are so many incidents, so many experience every day we have. The thought process is there, but after that it changed. So there the change happens, or it means only in thought process. You want to walk up to the market, you decided, you were ready, but the walking never happened. There are so many things happens. Dream is a different story. Now we are not bringing the dream, because we have to understand the connection with the karmas and like that. That is a state we can call as dream. Now, this is the problem here. When we have a thought process incompleted, or thought process is completed, but the action, physical action is incompleted, is not taken place. Then there comes a gap. There comes a gap. So what is that gap? So this gap creates insatisfaction in brain. Now your brain is losing confidence in you or in physical body, that even after brain's suggestion, the action is not taken place. It can be with another thought process. Always it is with another thought process, because you have decided not to go. But once the brain completes the formation or the process of an action, and the action is not taken place, then brain get this insatisfaction, depression. It is the first sign of depression. When it accumulates one after another, brain is depressed. Depressed when brain has no confidence on you. Now it will not form a clear action, clear thought process for a clear action. This is what I am talking about, a very psychological the treatment. So if we do this and we continue for some time, after maybe a 6 month, each brain's capacity is different. So because brain has the capacity to solve this problem also. The brain itself has. God has given that capacity. It can come out of this depression level. But most of the brains, most of the people, they cannot come out of this. Even with the small things, if they could not do, the incompletion makes the insatisfaction, then the depression, and the depression makes the brain in confidence. The confidence in the brain goes, loses its confidence. So once the brain loses the confidence, what would happen? All of your actions are affected. Even you cannot hold this thing, so the hand will shake. Why? Because you lose the confidence. Now the suggestion brain has given to hold this, but there is some gap. So now what it shows? It shows the mental process of an action is the real action. If you want to complete the action, not the hand is completing the action, or not the legs or limbs of the other parts of the body is completing the action. The action is started by the brain and completed by the brain. It means mind, only mind is doing the action. Now it is very clear, if mind is doing the action, mind can take its after effect also. The mind will take the after effect. If something something goes wrong with the action of hands, the after effect, who is taking the after effect? The brain only. Your mind will take the after effect. It's not the hands. Hands are the only instruments. Therefore, what we call as karmas, they are completely based on mind or brain. You have to say that. And whatever we saw, the physical action outside, they are the effect or the reaction of the after effect of those actions. So this is the connection with that. Now, Sometimes the third level, the first level, second level, and third level, many actions are formed in the form of thought and completed there and satisfied there. The satisfaction also, the effect what we want, that also you get there itself, in the mind itself. It happens. There is no need for any physical action. In that level, we can give a beautiful example as dreams. So in dreams, the action, the thought process, whatever need, it is there, and the action is also there in the mind, and reaction is there in the mind. The effect is also experienced there in the mind. Now how it is possible? Is it without karma? Can we say that is not an action? Of course, it is also action. So therefore, the manifestation outside, we are talking about physical actions now. The manifestations outside is all connected to thought processing. We have to accept that logically and practically. Now, up to this point, it is very much understandable. But now, for an action, why we take outside objects? Objects outside means other than body, other than physical body. How the brain has control over those objects? How the brain selects those objects? Now the first point what we talk, you are clear because we learned from other science also. This is the process. The suggestion comes and then the action comes. So now I want to hold this. This is the suggestion came. I am holding this. For holding I need this object. And this object is apart from my body. It is separate from my body. It is not a part of my body. So now this object is separate from my body. Now how this object is connected to my brain? If brain is only connected to physical body, that is what the science says. No? Brain is connected to physical body, only physical body. It is not connected to outside object. It cannot be, because what is brain all about? Brain is the collection of all the information from the cells. That is what they say. So brain is the central processing station. It is a control room. So like we have control rooms, brain is also a control room. So it is only connected to physical body. That is what they say. So then, what about this, the object outside? Okay, if brain is connected to the hand can move. Hand will move, and hand can show all the actions of holding and releasing, whatever. It's possible, it's quite okay, understandable. Now, why it is holding the outside object? Why this object is connected there? You are getting the point what I am trying to say? No. Something. So my point is, up to this physical body, it is very clear that brain is connected. We can say brain is connected to physical body. Therefore, body has movements and all those things. Now, the main problem is how the physical body, which is suggested or controlled by brain, is holding or taking outside object. What is the need for that? No, you cannot say that, because memory is made of after the action. Now we are talking about the first action. It is the
Indriyas are the ones which are constantly going outside. That's the Vishaya. And Indriyas are bringing in that information to the Manas and the identity with Ahankara.
Yeah. So that is also one reason. You see, here this is the interesting point. You see, I have given third step, the example of sleep, dream. The dream mind is making the suggestion and holding the action and holding the object, everything in the mind, and that also it is satisfied there. So what is the effect of an action? Why we do actions? For satisfaction. We have a desire, we want to fulfill that. Once the desire is fulfilled, we are satisfied. So why we do action? For satisfaction. Satisfaction means happiness, enjoyment. I am using another word, for it is the correct word in this context, satisfaction. Enjoyment is a defined word, or what we know. So satisfaction means when you have a thought unfulfilled, you are unsatisfied. So the thought, when the desire is there, the desire itself means you are unsatisfied with that particular object in the desire. It is correct, no? So therefore, each desire for achievement, there is unsatisfaction. So when the object is achieved, the desire is completed, fulfilled, and you are satisfied. So that is what we call as enjoyment and the fruit of the action, after effect of the action. Is it correct? No? Not beyond that. Beyond that, nothing is there. Once one action is completed, you got satisfied, and then what is after? No? You find another desire. So it is completed. It means there is nothing beyond that. After satisfaction, nothing beyond. So somehow, some way we could find, without a physical action, if we can be satisfied, then it is done. Then no action is performed outside. And this is already experimented by scientists in the mice and all other thing. So when they have some desire, or they give some injection or some suggestion by brain, so yeah, they're satisfied. After that, mice is satisfied and sleeping happy. So it means he has not done the action. But once the satisfaction comes, if you wanted to eat something, this is also action. No? So now the brain got some information, or some outside process, they have given the information that your stomach is full. It can be done very easily. So then there is no action for food. So it is very clear, if brain brings a desire, and somehow if you can satisfy that desire, then brain is satisfied, means you are satisfied, the enjoyment is complete. There is no relation whatsoever with the outside objects. There is no need for it. The example of our the experience is dream. That is why I give the example of dream. In dream, brain brings the desire, and the action is also there in the mind, and satisfaction is also. After a good dream, you are satisfied and you are sleeping. Now you are not planning for any action. There is no outside objects. Physical objects are not. So this point is clear, no? Now we take this point. Now, if brain is connected only to physical body, limited to physical body, as the science and was as per our understanding, then we cannot connect the objects outside. This is the problem in regard with this subject, in this contact. This is the problem the science is facing. Science is unable to understand how the mind and subtle mind, even in that quantum level or whatever, how the objects, the physical object, the material, with the material cause, how it is created, how it is connected. But here, it is very simple. How, you see, the first point I told you, before starting an action, brain has a complete idea of the action and reaction. Therefore, accordingly, brain is working. And how it decides, how it gets its these actions formed, that is another reason with the karma that we are not taking now. First we decide this, then we know the repetition and collection of memory and all those. So it means brain has a complete idea of the object which the action going to take place. That is, we have to accept it. There is no other way. Without accepting, we cannot go. If we are not accepting, you cannot complete an action. There will be all the confusions with the energy used and the muscles used and the reactions and protection and saving the body. There are so many problems. If we don't accept this, we have to accept before an action, brain has some idea or complete idea of that action. You got this point? Now the next step. If brain has this idea, complete idea, then is there no object in that? Without object, how can brain complete the idea? Complete the action. It means brain has the object there. Brain has the object. When you are going to hold a cup of tea, the brain has the full idea of the cup and the weight and the tea contents in it, and then the liquidity of the tea and how it is going to be. We should be careful and carefully drink. It may be too hot, so be careful about the tongue and the lips. All these are conveyed there in very, very, very minute, what you say, the second atomic level. It is conveyed there completely. And how can you say brain has no connection with the object outside? Now here you will say, the science will say, because it has previous experience. It has previous experience. Of course, we accept it. Previous experience with all these conditions. So brain, for the protection of body and protection of itself, it takes this action perfectly. And the timing and everything will be perfect. So we need only this much. What the object is outside, which is used or performed by brain, is already there in the brain. Now, what is already there in the brain? It comes to the action, and the action is completed. Now, the object is again related to the brain, and again related in thought process. So that is called the action, the completion of the action. The completion of action means again it is repeated. So it understands that this is a new action, and compare with previous action, it is new to that, and it got new experience. That's all. So this part is perfectly correct. So then this action and reaction repeated, it goes on. Now how this is produced, the outside objects, how it is produced. Now this is okay. Object is also already produced. That cup of tea was already there, and you are only holding. You are holding that. The action was only holding. Now we are going to think about how this cup of tea came to that particular person, in connection with that particular person, and how he was or she was connected to the cup of tea. Now, this has some connection with the brain or not? You got the idea? No. So you see, very simple. Now I have this, I am holding this. Just now what we completed the discussion is about this. How I am holding it and how should I hold and what is the, how much energy we should use and all those was decided, and brain is giving the suggestion and you are holding it. That part is completed. And how you know it? Because you already hold it for many, repeatedly hold it, so you have the perfect idea and hand holds it perfectly. So this part we discussed. Now this is okay. It means the object is already there in the brain. Okay, now already there, pakka is there. Now how this came here, or how I got the connection with this, how this case of become mine. No, we are talking about karma. This is not already, this is how it came to me. So why? Because after coming, I hold that and I know and everything is okay. That part is okay. Now this is produced. This was already there and it came to me, or somewhere it is produced. In this case, the making of this, my brain or my mind or my thoughts has some connection or not. That is what we want to understand. As we were holding in that. So the holding process, this it is okay that our brain has some connection for the holding process. But the making of this, because it has no connection with that. Previously, I was completely unaware about this. It was in some shops. Somebody made it. Even today I don't know who made it. But it is there. I am using it as my space as case. Okay. So this is the point. We bring the actual karma. Now you see, brain has made it before. How? Not with the single brain. It has a connection with the all other cosmic mind, all other forms. So it is not only by my karmas. It has many others' karmas. This is called cosmic level of karma or cosmic level of ahankara, where it is possible. Now how? Very simple, that somebody made this case for his business to earn money. So his karma is also connected there. And before the material, somebody made, some businessmen, they prepared the material and given to a company, for case making company. They made the cases, and then the another businessman brought it here and he was keeping it in the shop. So you see, this case has so many persons relation, and they all got their karma phalas, their karma and their fruits. And ultimately, the purpose of this was keeping the glass in that. Okay. So it came to a person who was using the glass, and he needs to use this case for the protection of the glass. And so that karma is also there. Now we don't know how many karmas are again connected to this. Means somebody will break this and something will happen to this. So the karma is also connected. So all these karmas are connected. Now I cannot say I made this, but I cannot also say I have no connection with this. You understand that? I cannot claim that I made this. It is not made by me. But I cannot deny that I have no connection with this. If I have no connection with this, it will not come to me. Because when I saw the case shops, I liked it. There are many other cases, many shapes and many other cases. I wanted some slim one, no, it's manageable with the hands, so I can hold the book and this together. So something like that. So I liked it. So how can I like one object? So wonder, you say, this is a miracle. So you like an object, it means you have some connection with the object. So where the connection is? Some previous connection. Because the theory says, the formula says, unless you have not experienced, you have not seen, you have no idea, then you cannot like or dislike an object. If you are liking an object or disliking an object, in both cases, you have some karma connection with that. So you have already given your karma to make this case, because your thought process was working in the cosmic level. This is the level science is totally unaware and unable to understand anything, how it works. So therefore, it is all correlated. The theory of relativity in a different level is we are all correlated. Each object made in the formed in the creation is correlated. In positive way sometimes, supporting way, or sometimes negative way. So this is connected, always connected. So this is how this came to me. Now as long as I am liking it, as long as it is useful for me, it will remain with me and my karma will work through this. And when it is completed, my purpose is completed, or I don't like anymore, then I throw it away. So till it is thrown, I have karma. And that now the throwing itself has a new karma. And this throwing will make another samskara, and sometime in next birth, the same case will come back. Because you have thrown the case with the completing one karma and made another karma, so this can be repeated. So this theory is discussed now. So what you hate is also a karma, and it will bring the opposite one. If you hate somebody or some object, very careful, because it will come back to you in some form. Why? Because you are giving thought process. Hating also a thought process, no? So as an action, as a positive action or liking action is also a thought process, and hating action is also thought process. In both cases, it will be made. And when the hating action comes to as a new karma or new, when it brings new relation, you will feel hated and you will feel distress by the object. But it will come back. Or in another way, it is said, if you hate somebody, you will be hated. So this is very famous. So if you like somebody, you will be liked. And if you hate somebody, you will be hated. How it is possible? Because of this karma. So the karma's reflection is going in two ways. So this is the theory we use here. Now we go to the first one. Then you will understand all story. You have to think about it. I am making it very short, even short. It took 45 minutes. So just to understand this, we take the first point we discussed. So one desire comes with an object, or one desire is formed in the brain with an object. Then we go to achieve that object. That is the process we talked. Now, the object which came to the brain should be achieved. It is ought to be achieved. Otherwise, you have all this problem, because brain is made for positive actions. It means for protection and making new creations or satisfying actions. Brain is not made for depression or unsatisfying action. So the purpose of brain or purpose of body, physical and whatever it is made, it for positive life. It means you grow and grow. So the growing is the process of that the information given to the cells. So always growing. Because the seed, the DNA which is there in the cells has this information to time change the character of the cells and grow it. Grow in the sense changing it. Therefore we have always desire for growing, expansion. We want expansion always, in every sense. Why? Because science says that our cells has this information. If somebody disrespect us, we feel bad, very bad. Because respect is an expansion. Expansion of what? Expansion of our ego. So because our ego is boosted by respecting. So we are expanded. And love, we won't always be loved by, because love is also an expansion of our own existence. So the brain is very much tuned with love and very much tuned with the sweetness. Sweetness in the sense by word, by action, by touch, by everything. Because that is the feeling of growing, expansion. Okay? Therefore, the all theory of philosophy and science, metaphysics, whatever we learn is all based on this growing, expansion. Where there is no expansion or destruction or these things, we don't go after this. Depression or destruction or unhappiness. So we don't go after that. Because brain is not made for that. So the object and that thought, the desire, is ought to be achieved and experienced. Okay? Now sometimes it is not possible in certain bodies or in a particular span of time. Then what would happen? The brain will not leave the object. Brain cannot leave the object. Once brain accepts the object as the object of achievement, the object of an action, it will not leave. There the theory of our motion comes. So once the motion starts, it completes. It cannot be, unless there is a opposite force, it cannot be incomplete. The same thing happens here. Once the brain gives the suggestion, it is like a Supreme Court order. It is given. The suggestion is given. The action starts. So then it doesn't look at the object or what is how long it is or no, nothing. If it is not possible with this body, it will take another body. Then the object to achievement will continue. Therefore, whatever we experience in this world, many of the objects we desired in this birth. For the sake of understanding, we can accept that. And many objects we have desired in previous birth. It must be like that. So therefore, good or bad or whatever we are experiencing, and the objects made outside. If you want more clarity on this, you can think about your childhood where the memory starts, and what you can remember. You think about you, what you thought about yourself, what you desired to achieve, what were your interests, likings, tendencies. You can understand that whatever you are doing now, all were there in different forms. At least I did on my case, it is always there. It was not clear in the picture, but the tendencies I had, I could now realize this was connecting to these things. So now a child, a very, very small child, how the child gets all these tendencies and all these desires, unidentified desires. Without previous karma, it cannot come. Sometimes I could see, if I remember my the childhood life, I could see what is happening. I had no idea what I am going to do, but I had all this understanding, or my tendencies were like that. It's connected to that. It's not only me; every human being is like that. So in each tendency we can understand. Sometimes the situation where you are brought up may be different, but even then this tendency will be there. So this is how the mind is making the objects outside. It is not the one mind is making that. So we are connecting other minds. So other mind means who made this process, this case, this object. He was also connected to us, our mind. Who made this building? All the minds which work for making this building happen, their karma and our karma is also connected. They made the building, that was their karma. Then they go. They are gone. Now we are sitting and experiencing. This is our karma. It's the object and the experience, both are connected to this. And this way, this physical body is also made. From these bhavanas, so we started from there. How the bhavanas, how this intellectual creation can happen. And what is the connection with the intellectual creation and the elemental creation. Now in intellect, in this bhavanas, we have virtue, vice and all those, dharma, aishwarya, anaishwarya, vairagya, avairagya and all those. The 8 forms. 8 forms they categorized. In all this, the 5 objects, sound, touch and all these are there. Without that, this dharma, adharma cannot happen. So these 5 objects are called subtle elements. Now what we call as objects for the mind, for our desires, here it is called as elements. 5 subtle elements. The sound rudiment and touch rudiment is nothing but sound and touch. Why? Because effect is based on cause only. The effect is nothing but cause. So therefore, from the subtle rudiment of sound and touch and form and smell and this taste, it comes all the objects outside. And formation, according to our need, the formation comes. That is also can be explained in another way, in the similar way what I explained now. According to our need, we make the objects. So we can make, we can take the atta. So we can make take the atta and make rotis or puris or whatever you want, sweets, delicious other different items. The material is the same. How we change the objects according to our needs. So the formation of or changing the character of the object is also based on our mind. It cannot be ruled out. So why you are changing the object, the character of the object? Because of this reason. This way. Because of this reason, this is the theory, philosophy behind how the subtle elements grow into the form of gross elements. Because we need gross elements. Or the cosmic mind needs it. The cosmic intellect mind combination needs the gross objects, so it is made. So this is how they connect all these things, and some points we can discuss more and think about more, but the philosophy or the theory behind the creation is very clear. It starts from the mind, because it needs we are talking about the creation outside. That creation is a requirement for our desire. The requirement for our desire. Or in cosmic way, when we talk, the cosmic creation we see outside is the requirement for the cosmic mind combinations, intellect and place. Therefore it is good. So this is the reason the Sankhya starts from Prakriti and then brings intellect, then brings Ahankara, then the outside creation. So the creation is in your mind level. The words used or the terminations used also in the mental level. So this is the connection of this. Or we can discuss this with the shlokas. We will see it on next section. Om Purnamataha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudasyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Day after tomorrow, Guru Purnima. So we wish a happy Guru Purnima to all the listeners. Then Guru Purnima day, 13th morning, 5:30 we start Pada Puja and other programs. And then we have Bhiksha here for the sadhus. Mainly sadhus come and we do Abhishekam Puja, all this in the temple. This is what the normal celebrations. For that we need to do some preparations. Therefore, tomorrow there won't be no class. So there are no class tomorrow, and day after tomorrow Guru Purnima, and the next day is Pratipada. So again we have 3 holidays. So who can come and attend the puja in the morning is okay. Otherwise, all can do puja in their home with their respected gurus and Guru Parampara, remembering all the Guru Paramparas and the rishis. One day for the rishis and gurus. So our prayers to them. So that is the speciality of Guru Purnima. So the Guru Purnima day we start Chadurmasya. So it is called one special Anushthanam, special sadhana days. 2 months we have Chadurmasya, rainy season. So this also starts on Guru Purnima day. So therefore we have 3 days holidays. Oh.